See, we got. I'm waiting for the YouTube live. Okay, I'm live on YouTube. Facebook, I understand you might be rotated a little bit to the side. If you want, you can actually go over to YouTube. But the brother Jimmy Alicia actually is resulted into me actually doing this video. I didn't feel like I don't really have the time to actually explain it, so I feel like take a little bit of time out of my personal time and show you some love. So what I'm going to do is show you how I always won every single traffic citation, every single one of them. And if you listen, you will as well. So I mean, every single traffic citation that I've actually ever had, I won by using this particular method. So I want to start by, reading from the book of Matthew, the 25th chapter, verse 39 through 40. And it reads as thus: Or when saw we thee sick in prison, and came unto thee. Verse 40. And Yahushua answered him and said thus: And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto the least of these my brethren, you have done it unto me. So by helping you with this, right knowledge, this right information, I'm also helping Yahushua. Not that he needs help, but by showing you love. And I'm indeed giving you love, because I really don't have the time to do this right now. Like, I have so much to do. But I'm showing love by doing this. Now, the book of Romans, I'm going to get another scriptures. The book of Romans, 13th chapter, verse 8 says, I'm going to clearly show you why you should not be a debtor. None of you should be debtors, ever. You're not supposed to owe anything to anyone. You owe no man. You're not supposed to be a debtor. Book of Romans 13th chapter. You're supposed to be creditors. Verse 8. Owe no man anything. That means you're not supposed to owe anyone anything. If you're an honorable person, you're supposed to pay all of your alleged debts. That's honor. That's stand in harmony. Owe no man anything, but there's one thing you want to owe people. Love ye one another. That's what you want to do. You want to give in love. So what am I doing right now? I'm giving you love. I'm taking time out of my busy schedule, giving you love, something that I don't have to do. And most of you, 98% of you, don't show any appreciation by giving a donation. No matter how small, no matter how big, you always want to take. You want to take from the well, but you never get back. Romans 8 and 13. Owe no man nothing, but love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. Now, I don't mean you've done away with all of the laws totally. What's that saying is that if you love your brother, love your sister as you love yourself, you're going to fulfill the law, because you're going to do everything that the law says. That's what that means. So now I'm going to show you, let me get my black marker and go to the white board. Right on the white board. But anyways, I'm going to give you some right knowledge right here. So I'm going to start by saying this method has actually worked for me every single time. Where any kind of traffic ticket, remember, under truth and lending, you have 72 hours for any kind of transaction of a security entrance. And a traffic ticket is a transaction of a security entrance. So this is how you actually handle it under truth and lending. Now, the first thing, brother Jimmy Alicia, turning away from the camera, is that you got to think contracts. Everything is dealing with contracts. Everything involves a contract. So, if by the way, if you need further assistance other than this video, you can actually contact me at tazadaqshah at yahoo.com, or go into the website www.truedisciplesofchrist.org, or www.creditorsdebtorscontractsandcommerce.org. And instead of donating via PayPal, I recommend that you donate the Cash App. If you don't have the Cash App, I would suggest that you get that, because when you make donation to PayPal, they're taking a high percentage of what you're actually donating to me. Just for that, putting that information out there. Now, a traffic ticket, you got to look at it as an offer, right? Everything is an offer. And this is key to everything. Everything's an offer. So it's offer and acceptance. Okay, I'm losing reception over here. The Facebook looks like it's starting to go out. So you may want to go over to YouTube. The Facebook, it's kind of like in and out. So a traffic ticket's always an offer. Hopefully it'll come back up. So anyone on Facebook right now, you need to go over to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, I see that's still up. You're good. So it's an offer. You have 3 days with any transaction of a security entrance. A traffic ticket is a transaction of a security entrance. Looks like I'm at a lost Facebook connection over here. Yeah, I lost it on Facebook. Let me see if I can reconnect here. You know what? I'm just going to stay with YouTube. Facebook is actually out. So a traffic ticket is a transaction of a security entrance. With any transaction of a security entrance, you have 72 hours to actually resolve that. Any kind of transaction of a security entrance, you got 72 hours, 3 days. Under what is known as truth in lending. So, Brother Jimmy Alicia, let's say this is the traffic ticket, right? This is your alleged traffic citation right here. This right here, this is a traffic ticket, so on and so forth. So this is your alleged traffic citation. Hopefully you can see this. It looks like there's a glare. Let me try to get it a little clearer. So there's a box right here. This box right here represents your traffic citation. So now under truth in lending, you have 3 days to deal with this before it becomes an official contract. It's just an offer. So this is my traffic ticket. I'm going to write across it at a 45-degree angle. Your offer to contract is hereby rejected. Under truth in lending is hereby rejected and returned unsigned. In accord with truth in lending. Now, you don't have to tell me that I have a horrible handwriting. I don't know if you can see this. So, what this says, in case you can't see it, because there may be a glare. So this right here being a traffic ticket, right? So at a 45-degree angle, what I did is I wrote across that your offer, Brother Jimmy Alicia, your offer to contract is rejected and returned unsigned in accordance with truth in lending. So that's what I write across the traffic citations at a 45-degree angle. Now, some of these minions, they may want to get wise and try and charge you with defacing the document. So I could very well do that on the back of the citation as well. So it's rejected. So any further correspondence from the signer of the document and heirs and agents must be done under the penalty of perjury. If you assuming that you're representing me, then you are fired. So you write all of that there. I'm not going to write it there. So any further correspondence from the agents, their heirs, their associates, must be done under the penalty of perjury. If you think that you're representing me, you're terminated, which is a better word. So I put that on the traffic ticket. I'm not going to write all of that there. I said it 2 times. So basically, what it should say, Brother Jimmy Alicia, at a 45-degree angle. Your offer the contract is hereby rejected and returned unsigned in accordance with truth in lending. Any further correspondence needs to be done under the penalty of perjury. If you think that you're representing me, you are terminated. You could use the word fired, but terminated is a better choice of word. So then you would take this. Now this is important because this is important many of you leave out. So you would take this traffic citation to the issuing authority or wherever they actually told you to go to pay this particular bill. Now remember, you only got 72 hours for this. If you renege on the 72 hours, you're gonna have to show up in court. You're gonna have to handle this in court. But under truth in lending, for any kind of transaction of a security interest, and a traffic ticket is a transaction of a security interest, you got 72 hours before it becomes official. Now the semantics that they will play with you is tell you, oh, it's not in the system yet. Well, that's not my problem. Under truth in lending, I came down to resolve this. So what I'll do, I'll not only go by myself, I would take this traffic ticket and 2 witnesses with me down to the issuing authority, and I would tell them that I'm here to resolve this matter. If you have an issue with your brother, go to him in the face of 2 witnesses. So the scriptures tells us that if you have any kind of issue with your brother, go to him and you take 2 witnesses. That's scriptural. Everything that we do is scriptural. Let me get that. Let me get that in the scriptures. It's the book of Matthew. Everything that these people do in their laws is from the Bible. Matthew 18th chapter, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go tell him his fault. So if your brother trespass against you or does something wrong, you're not supposed to immediately take him to this demonic court system. You're supposed to go to your brother and try and resolve it between you and your brother. If the brother Jimmy and Alicia ran into me with his, if he ran into my Lexus with his Ford Sanford truck, he supposed to, hey, Tazadaq, I ran into you with my and so I'm here to pay that damage. And so if I agree, oh yeah, no problem, Jimmy, go ahead and get it fixed, then hey, I won my brother. Let's read. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him, not no court, alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, take with thee 1 or 2 or more, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. So this is why with this ticket, because remember, everything in their system of law is based on the Bible. On the Bible. So when you go down with your ticket, you want to take at least 2 witnesses with you. Why? Based on the scriptures. Because this is where Esau is getting his statutory laws from, on the scriptures. So you take 2 people with you. Why? You're going to use them for witnesses. How are you going to use them for witness? You're going to get them to construct an affidavit. Because you're going to go down, you're going to say, I'm here to resolve this citation, and they're going to tell you it's not in the system. I could almost guarantee it, 99.9%, they're going to tell you they can't resolve it then if you go down within 72 hours. So you get your witnesses and you have them write an affidavit so that you went down attempting to resolve this issue and you was told that, hey, I couldn't resolve it then. So now you stay in honor, but they go in dishonor. So now if it goes to court, boom, they're going to get slammed dunk. Let's read. And in the mouth or 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. That's truth. And if he shall reject to hear them, like they're going to tell you, no, we can't do it. What's going to happen then? Tell it to the church. Now they replaced the church with the court. The only thing, they got the judge, the magistrate, sitting in the damn court like it's a church, and he got on a black priestly robe. But most of you, you don't see any of this. You're missing all of this. So you tell it to the church, which is now becomes a court. But if he neglect to hear thee, tell it to the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican, mean a politician. So do you understand? So this is how you resolve this. This is how it's supposed to be resolved. So he's supposed to be like a heathen to you. So, first thing you do, right across a 45-degree angle, let's reflect back during what I've discussed, because this is very simple. You should be able to get this real quick. Your offer to contract is hereby rejected and returned unsigned in accordance with truth in lending. Any further attempts, must be made under penalty of perjury. If you think that you're representing me, you are fired. Then you take it down with your two witnesses. You look on the back of the ticket, because they always have a location they want you to mail it into. Now, if it's a P.O. box, if some states try to get crafty and it's a P.O. box, you want to call in and find out where do you go to make this payment. Tell them you want to come to pay it in person. Of course, I wouldn't pay anything. I go down and I offer my tender payment, which is this. It's just an offer to contract. I'm refusing an offer to contract. Remember, for anything to be valid, for anything to have validity, there has to be an agreement on both sides. There has to be a meeting of the minds. So what am I doing? I'm rejecting their offer to contract. Do you understand? It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Now, if you pass the 3 days, as stated in the scriptures, you got to go to court. So and this is what most of you do. This is how most of you screw it up. You missed the 3 days, then you got to go to court. So then when you go to court, you screw it up. They get jurisdiction over you. Now, the first thing that you should do before you even step into their court, establish the status. What is the status of the magistrate? What is the status of the judge? What is your status? Are you going in as a damn incompetent ward of the state? Or are you going in and probing your persona as a man? I just go in as an aggrieved man to handle all charges outstanding. Understand that? It's really that simple. So, past 3 days, you got to go to court. You want to take those two witnesses with you. You want to have their affidavits already drawn up for educational purposes only. Now, am I telling you to do any of this? Nah, I'm just educating you, giving you right knowledge. If you do this, you do so at your own will. Research everything that I say. Anything that you do, you're doing at your own will. And Tazadaq is not to be held responsible for anything. By the way, this is not legal advice. I do not offer legal advice. If you need legal advice, seek yourself a competent counsel, then please be advised. Everything that I give is strictly for educational, informational, entertainment purposes only. That's all it is. Are you not entertained? So, if it goes beyond 3 days, you're going to have to actually go to court. And, and so if I go to court, I'm going to require a trial by jury. Now you said, Tazadaq, they're going to tell me it's a traffic court. Well, yeah, I don't give a damn what they tell me. What do I care about what they say? I care about what the Constitution says, which is the supreme law of the land. And I know when I look at the Bill of Rights, so because they'll tell you that some traffic tickets are criminal. So if they're telling me that this is a criminal issue according to the Bill of Rights, Article 6, if it's a criminal issue, am I not entitled to a trial by jury? Yeah, I am. That's the Constitution. That's the supreme law of the land. I don't give a damn what the judge or the black robe is saying. If they say anything contrary, they're warming against the Constitution. Understand that. So let's say if they say it's a civil issue, well, this is a civil issue, it's a traffic citation. Okay, if it's civil, right, and if it's above $20, what does the Bill of Rights say? You should know. You should be knowing this. The 7th Amendment in the Bill of Rights says that if it's $20 or more, you're still entitled to a trial by jury. Now I'm asking you, when you go into these courts, the traffic court, where's your jury? I'm waiting for your response. There is no jury. Why? Because it is a military tribunal. It is a military tribunal. It's a maritime admiralty court, and it only has validity because you show up and you give it to them. You don't go in and challenge the jurisdiction, and you don't go in and you don't challenge the status of those rogue agents in the court. Understand that? So if it does, you take your two witnesses in the court, and then you deal with it. So you take The affidavit, you put it in the court on the record. The black robe should get it in the judge's chamber before you even go to the court. So now, if they have anything to ask me in the court, I refer them to the record because I already got this on the record. So whenever they ask me anything, I'm pressing the record. My Honor, did you not receive my record? Did you not get my affidavit, which is actually in judge's chamber? Because everything I'm going to say to him henceforth is going to be in the form of a question. Even if we make it to this point, we may not even make it to the point where he could question me about anything if we have not established status and jurisdiction. Because if they don't have any jurisdiction, I'm not supposed to be here anyways, and I'm going to be leaving for educational purposes only. Really this simple, man. You guys are making it complex and complicated. So the next thing I want to say, if the constable on patrol, the cop, the policeman, I'm not going to call him an officer because he doesn't hold any position of office. He's a minion. You understand what I'm saying? So he's working for those people that's actually in office. So if the policeman or the constable on patrol, the cop, doesn't show up, it's the first thing that I would do. First thing I would do is I require, which means to demand by authority that the case is dismissed for failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. Because why? If my accuser is not there, if this constable in patrol is not in the court that wrote me the citation, why in the hell am I going to be there? Do I not have a right to question my accuser? Yes, I do, according to the Constitution. I don't give a damn about their statutes. I told you their statutes are warring against the Constitution. Now, this thing is very simple. I shouldn't be getting questions about this, man. You can go back and look up my videos. In 2011, I put this out, man. But you people, you're going to have to want to do things for yourselves, man. You can't hit me up every time you forget something. See, this is where responsibility comes in, man. This is where being responsible comes in. I got 700 and some videos on one channel on YouTube. Do you really think I memorize what everything is in those videos? You're going to have to do the work and go and look at those videos yourself. The information is right out there for you. It's a wealth of information. You got to take the damn time and go and apply yourself and study the damn videos and stop asking me, man. Because I got better things to do with my time, man. Understand that. I'm a real busy dude, man. I'm working on some books I'm trying to put together for this seminar in Florida. By the way, I'm going to be doing a seminar in Orlando, Florida, July the 28th and 29th. Those are the days that I'm looking at. Hopefully, I could get the place reserved over the next couple days. And once I do, I'll put a video out there letting you know for sure. But I'm looking to do a seminar, accredited seminar, 2-day seminar in Orlando, Florida, July 28th and 29th. It's like 2 weeks away. So I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to work on my book. So I don't have time to go over something that I went over in 2011, man. Come on, get your mind right, king, queen. This is already on YouTube. I put it out there way back 2010, 2011. So now when I got to make another video on this, hey, man, when you learn something, understand this. You don't forget it. When you memorize something, you forget it over a period of time. But if you learn it, you always know how to do it. Have you forgotten how to ride the damn bike? No, you haven't forgotten how to ride a bike because you learned it. You learn how to do it. But you memorize this, you forget it. Understand that. There's a difference between learning and memorizing. You got to learn something. I'm trying to teach you how to think. I don't teach you what to think. I teach you how to think so that you could think for yourself. And you could be self-sufficient because you're the self-savior. Only you could save yourself. Tazadaq can't save you. I'm just a God, just a starseed here for a very short time. So absorb the truths that I share with you and give you, king, queen. So back to this. So again, if the policeman does show up in court, you got him with the 2 witnesses because you stayed in honor. If he does decide to, if he does it, then the case is going to be dismissed for educational purposes because I require that it's dismissed for failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. If he does show up, I'm going to own that boy because I got my 2 witnesses. I got everything that I need. Now, again, let's relax. Right across, your offer of contract is hereby rejected and returned to you unsigned in accordance with truth and lending. Any further correspondence from the signer of the document and heirs and agents must be done under the penalty of perjury. If you think you are representing me, you are terminated. Remember, folks, any further correspondence needs to be done under the penalty of perjury. Why? Because if an attorney is someone trying to hit you up, they can't take an oath under penalty of perjury. So the penalty, what I'm saying is the penalty is perjury, meaning you're lying under oath, because they can't, an attorney can allege that I done such and such, I ran a red light, I was speeding. Why? Because the attorney's a third party and the attorney wasn't there. So if he does it, he has to do it under penalty of perjury. An attorney can't do that because it's a title of nobility. He has to do so as a man. Do you understand? That means he has to take the stand as John Doe, or John Henry Doe. Do you understand? So the attorney don't have a damn thing to say to you, or the prosecutor has nothing to say to you in regards to a traffic citation. He wasn't there. It's a third party. You don't talk to me. Everything I have to say is between me, the constable in patrol, and the judge. And the judge is supposed to be there as a referee to make sure that both sides is being heard. That's the only reason anything goes to court in the first place. So if you will offer conditional acceptance, it shouldn't even be in the court. But the only reason you're there is so, hey, I'm going to hear this side. I want to hear that side. That's it. That's all the black robe's supposed to do. He's not there to make any decision. The record is supposed to speak for itself. You're supposed to already have everything on the record. Don't call me one day before it's time for you to go to court, man, and want me to actually work a miracle, and you don't even know contract law 101. This stuff is basics. It's all in my books, man. So, the other thing I wanted to say, now, let's say you have to go to court. Let's say you acted like, you behave like a debtor, and you're not supposed to be a debtor. Remember that. The only thing you want to owe anyone is love. That's what you want to give out there. That's what you want to put out there is love. You're not supposed to be a debtor in accordance with Romans 13 verse 8. Stop being a debtor. You're supposed to be a creditor. And creditors give love. Understand that. So, next thing I want to say, let's say you got to go to court. Let's say it's too late. Because I can guarantee you, someone right now under the sound of my voice, you have a damn traffic citation. You've been letting it sit there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Now you want to go to court and argue it, and you want to go through all of this unnecessary stuff when you could have resolved it within 72 hours under truth and lending using this method right here. So now let's say you was a cornball, you behave like a debtor, you know, and now you got to go to court, right? So how do you deal with it? Well, first thing you want to do is you want to move the court. To motion the court means to move the court. Because if you put something on the record, if you don't move the court, it's never going to happen. Some of you put things on the record and nothing ever happens. So the first thing you want to do is you want to move the court. So you want to move the court. So how am I going to move the court, Tazadaq? Well, now you may have to do a total of 5 motions. I'm going to say that, and 2 of them you want to have at the preliminary hearing. You want to have at the preliminary hearing, and those motions are as thus. The best handwriting. Motion to protect all the accused legal rights. In case you can't see it. Motion to protect the accused legal rights. You want to have this at the preliminary hearing. And the next motion is as follows. Okay. Lovely handwriting. Motion to compel the court to identify itself. So at the preliminary hearing, you want a motion to protect and observe, I should have observed there, all the accused legal rights, and a motion to compel the court to identify itself. Why do you want to do this? Well, you want to make sure your rights are protected. In accordance with what? Your rights that's actually reserved by the Constitution of the Republic. Next thing, motion to compel the court to identify itself. Why would you go into a court if you don't know what kind of court it is? If you don't know what the type of court it is, how do you know what kind of laws they're going to be practicing it on you? They're not going to be practicing law. They're going to be practicing public policy. So this is common damn sense, man. Common damn sense. You should know this, man. If you're a so-called student of law, if you're studying law, you're watching this YouTube channel and that YouTube channel, but you can't handle something as simple as this. So motion to compel the court to identify itself. You got to know the court that you're going into. So let's say they decide, well, we're going to go to trial. If you got one of those black robes, now we're taking this to trial. Because they see, why are they going to take it to trial? Because they see some weakness in you. They see some feeble-mindedness in you, and they believe that you really don't know what you're doing, so they're going to take it to court. So when it goes to court, what you got to do now? Well, what other motions may you need? Michelle Penny, you need to listen to this also. So I hope you're getting this. You should be writing this down. So, next motion is a motion to strike. Motion to recuse the judge. So, I'll explain these real quick. So, motion is, so, goes to court, right? You got a judge that decides, well, I'm going to take this thing to court. I believe that we can win, and this dude is a sucker. We could get some fiat out of him. So, if the black robe refused to honor these two motions right here, then what I would do for educational purposes, and what I've done in the past, is before this thing goes to trial, I set up what is known as a motion hearing. A motion hearing. You didn't hear me, I'm going to say it again. A motion hearing. Before it goes to trial, I set up a motion hearing. Now some of you gotten railroaded. The black robe told you, oh, well, this is a traffic court. We don't do motions hearing. Well, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Show me the law that says it doesn't. Well, if you're telling me that, you know, I'm not allowed due process of law, I'm going to have the case dismissed on that premise alone. Because if I can't have a motion hearing, that means my voice is not being heard. So I'm being denied due process of law, so I will actually require that this case be dismissed on that premise alone. Do you understand? Real simple, man. If you're a thinking person, this stuff is very simple, man. So, the black robe, the judge decides to take it to trial. So, and you know, if you have a if you got locked up for whatever reason, let's say they said you was doing, let me just put this out there for educational purposes. Let's say you was doing excessive. They charge you a reckless driving, they lock you up. They take you to a damn arraignment. For educational purposes, I never enter a plea. I never enter a plea because it automatically gives them jurisdiction over you. Once they get jurisdiction, you're done, man. You become a defendant once they get jurisdiction over you. So I never enter a plea because I grant them jurisdiction by doing so. So the black robe refuses to adhere your motions, and it goes to trial. Now, I could do what is known as an administrative remedy. I can mail these in and schedule a motion hearing. Administrative remedy via certified or registered mail. I mail these in. I make sure that the black robe gets a copy. I make sure that the prosecutor gets a copy, and I send one into the clerk of court. And if there's an opposing party, I will make sure they get a copy. But in this case, the opposing party would be the cop. So I make sure everyone gets a copy, so they won't try and dismiss it on that. So I'll send them in by certified or registered mail. And it may be possible that may need one more motion, which is a motion to continue. Because I may need to take charge of this, so I may need to do a motion to continue. Now, to deliver these motions, I would take a copy with me to the hearing. I would send them in prior, certified or either registered mail, but I would have an extra copy, for everyone just in case they try to allege they didn't get them. But if you got that certified mail number, then that's good enough. I will carry it to the clerk, or you can mail it in to the clerk. And we'll even give you more power if you had a third party to mail it in for you, and simply do a proof of service. And the proof of service is not something you mail in. Proof of service is something that you actually just hold on to for your records in case someone try to say, well, I didn't receive it. That's a lie. So you pull your proof of service. So, let's relapse, and I'll bring this to an end. So, the black rule denies the first two motions. So, if he does so, schedule what is known as a motion hearing. At a motion hearing, let me explain this. At a motion hearing, the only thing that actually supposed to take place at a motion hearing is that your motions are heard. At a motion hearing, they do not make any kind of judgment against you. There is no adjudication at a motion hearing. At a motion hearing, the only thing, and people screw this up, believe it or not, the only thing that should rightfully so take place according to the law is your motions is heard. If they want to prosecute you or adjudicate you, it must be done not during the motion hearing. Do you understand? So, you will schedule a motion hearing, and at the motion hearing, so you already submitted the motion to protect the accused, the motion to protect and observe all the accused legal right. You being the accused, motion to compel the court to identify itself. What type of court is this? Is this a criminal court or is it a civil court? Is it criminal? It's two types. According to the Constitution of the Republic, is that right? Can someone tell me what they are? What's the two types of criminal courts? Criminal under the common law, which is the Constitution of the Republic, or criminal under maritime amity law, which is a military tribunal, and you don't want to be in that type of criminal court. Or it could be a civil. If it's civil under the common law, or is it civil under maritime amity law, which is a military tribunal, which is totally based on statutes, which means you're going to pay something. And I can tell you, even if it's criminal, there is a penalty attached. There's a fee. CFR 72.11 says all crimes are commercial, which means commerce is involved. Means they want that fee out. Why? Because you're swimming in a sea of commerce. And if you can't swim, you're going to drown. So, next thing, motion to strike. So if they're trying to enter something against you, this is why I have my motion to strike. I mean, just the way that I worded these, you should know how to use it. So, a motion to strike. They trying to enter something, boom, you enter your motion to strike. What does that mean? You're taking it from the record. Do you understand? Motion to recuse the judge. Now, if the black robe decides that he don't want to acknowledge your rights reserved by the Constitution because you don't have any constitutional rights. Don't go into a damn maritime amity court talking about your constitutional rights. He's gonna find you in contempt. You recuse that judge for educational purposes and you replace him with another judge. Do you understand? Motion to dismiss. So, failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted, into motion to dismiss. I demand that this case is dismissed for failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. Why are they failing to state a claim? Because I went in and I try to resolve this before they scheduled this court trial or what have you, and they refused to do so. So they went in dishonor. So I'm in honor, so I win. Do you understand? Motion to continue. So, I mean, they want to get, they want to get into some buffoonery. Then I'll do a motion to continue. What am I going to do? Why am I going to continue? I'm going to move it to an Article 3 court. What is an Article 3 court? Someone in the room tell me. What is an Article 3 court? Article 3 court. I'm waiting. Someone please tell me Article 3 court. What is an Article 3 court?
According to Electric Law Library, Article 3 courts. These are federal courts established by or under Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution, which states the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish.
You got that? You got that? I'm going to read it again. Article 3 court. These are federal courts established by or ordered under Article 3 of the United States Constitution of the Republic, which states in pertinent parts, the judicial powers of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court. Where is that? It's in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. So for any other court, any other lower court to have any kind of jurisdiction of authority, guess where it comes from? It comes from either the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C., or it has to come from Congress. Understand that. Just to be clear, that's important to remember. So the judicial powers of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish courts of international trade. Do you understand? So all of these other courts, they have validity because you show up and you give it to them, because you're dealing in a seat of commerce. So they don't want, if they don't want to follow what is stated, then I motion to continue. And then where do I continue at? Article 3 court. Article 3 court. This is where I continue at. Article 3 court. Why? Because I know they have to observe the Constitution. See, the court that you're going into, I can tell you, man, it's a Maritime Admiralty Court. So the only reason I'm motioning them for anything is to try to get them to expose the fraud. And they're not going to do that. So instead of exposing the fraud, they will usually come up with some excuse to get you out of the court. They'll pretend that there was some discrepancy or something to get you out of the court. But you got to know when they give you the window. Don't try and go in there and show out. Don't try and go in there and, expose the fraud. That's not your job. Your job is to only go in there to handle your business and to get up out of there, because you don't belong in there anyways. It is not your duty to expose the fraud, because they will deal with you, and now you're in violation of one of the rules of commerce. Don't interfere with commerce. Understand that, because they're going to come after you, and they will come after you hard. So you take it to an Article 3 court. Understand that. In the Article 3 court, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Why you want to be there? Because in your Maritime Admiralty Court, these judges are not under oath. These attorneys are not under oath. The bailiff is not under oath. None of those officers of the court are under oath, because it's their court. When a judge tells you it is my court, don't mention the Constitution in here, he means that. Understand that. So this is where you take him to the Article 3 court. Why? Because now he's held under his oath. And he got to adhere to the Constitution of the Republic. Do you understand? And so with that, Brother Jimmy Alicia, there's your remedy of how to deal with any traffic ticket, and how I won every single time. Every single time I won using these methods. Is really that simple. Really that simple. So, like the video. You took the time to watch it. You're here for a reason. Don't come around with that leeching type energy. You come around, you leech information. You won't even give the damn video a thumbs up. I mean, how difficult is it to give a thumbs up and like the video? But you'll come and you get the information. You're a damn emotional vampire. You're an informational vampire. And you show disappreciation. Understand that. But the Most High see you, the Lord see you. The Lord see people like that. These emotional vampires, you're going to be uprooted, man, and taken out. Well, let me get one more scripture, man, before I leave, man. Let me get one more scripture. Because, I came with the word, so I'm going to leave with the word. 1 Corinthians 16, verse 14. I came with the word, I'm going to leave with the word. And by the way, tune into the Talk Show radio show tonight, every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The call-in number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID is 122 643. We had a pretty good show last week, so tune into the show tonight. TalkShoe. You want to go and register on TalkShoe if you don't have an account already. Go to talkshoe.com and do a search for Tazadaq or creditors, debtors, contracts, and commerce, and then you can register, because that way you can use the chat room, or you could just simply call in. So if you want to use the chat room, you got to go and register. If you want to call in, you could call in on your phone to ask questions. So, 1 Corinthians 16, verse 14. Let all your things be done with love. Let all your things be done with love. Let everything be done with love. 1 Corinthians 16, verse 14. So I'm giving you love. So all of the haters, all of you that's spreading all that hate, all that negative energy, this is not for you, man. And the Lord's not with you. Let everything that you do be done in love. Even when you're dealing with these rogue agents. It's exceedingly, unless they're just inherently wicked, it's exceedingly difficult to deal with someone that's giving you love. You're being mean to them, and they still giving you love. You can't stay angry with a person like that. So I'm giving you love. Like everything that I do is born out of love, because I got a lot of other things, that, rightfully so, that I should be doing right now. But the brother Jimmy Alicia, he hit me up this morning and say, I need, the traffic video, whatever, and so on and so forth. How do I handle it? I said, you know what, brother? I'll do better than that. I'm going to stop what I was doing, and I'm going to do a live stream on it. I didn't plan to do this. The Spirit moved me. So you guys can thank Brother Jimmy Alicia. Better yet, thank Yahweh Ba'Shem a.o.c for having me do this video. Because if you use this method that I use every time, and it's worked for me every time, it will work for you as well. So let all things, everything that you do, be done in love. And don't you be one of those workers of darkness. Let me get one more scriptures. I know I keep saying one. Don't you be a worker of darkness, man. Book of Ephesians warn you about that. Because a lot of you deal in dark places. Like a lot of you Moors, man. You got a lot of secrets. That's not of the Lord, man. Like Masons, you operate in secrecy, man. That's not of the Lord. Anyone that does anything in secrecy, you're not moving with the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh. You're not moving with the spirit of the Lord, because the Most High warns us about doing things in secret and operating in secrecy. Those are the workers of darkness. Those people work in darkness. So I want you to hear me well. Book of Ephesians, the 5th chapter. This talks about the deeds of darkness. And I want to ask you, all of you under the sound of my voice right now, are you doing a deed of darkness? Are you one of the trolls that come by and give Tazadaq's account a thumbs down for no reason? You just hate me. Why? Because I told you the truth. As it says in the book of Galatians, I tell the truth and people get mad. But that's what I do, and I speak from passion. I speak the truth. I speak the truth. When you hear me say something, I'm going to do it. If I say I'm going to do something, I am going to do it. Because my word is my bond, and my bond is my life, and I should give my life before my word shall fail. You can ask Malik, anyone. When I told them, hey, you know what, man, I'm just going to quit my jobs, and I'm going to just teach the whole secure party credit stuff. So when they saw me like 5 years later, I said, damn, this son of a bitch actually did it. This dude's actually doing it. He's actually going around doing seminars. He's actually did it. This son of a bitch actually did what he said he was going to do. Why? Because I go to every extreme to keep my word. And I expect that from other people, but a lot of people are not like that, man. You operate in deeds of darkness. So let me tell you about that. Ephesians 5th chapter, verse 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. Does not a lot of you Moors stand on squares and you got your little secrets just like the Masons? They do things in secrecy. Those are the deeds of darkness that the scriptures are warning us about. The Illuminati, they operate in deeds of darkness. These women that's part of this masonry that calls themselves Eastern Stars, you operate in deeds of darkness. You do things in secrecy. Those are deeds of darkness. And your life is very dark. A lot of you go join these damn college fraternities. You operate in deeds of darkness. You ride a damn donkey naked. You go through all kind of wicked assassinations that's not against your wickedness, but it's against the Lord's statutes and commandments of the Bible, and you're going to be punished for it. You go through all kind of initiations for these damn college things. Why? Because it's getting you ready for masonry. It's getting you ready for Eastern Stars. The damn Boy Scouts do it also. Those are deeds of darkness. So you got to be very careful of what you allow your children, your sons and daughters, to get involved in, like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. These are all preparing them for masonry. Understand that. It's a fraternity, like the police organization. That's a fraternal organization of police. That's deeds of darkness. That's why they get away with murder. Same thing with the damn fire department. That's a fraternal organization of firemen. These are secret societies, man. But we're unmasking them through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. Let's read Ephesians 5:11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. So I'm giving you reproof. But what happens when you give a wicked man reproof? He hates you. When you give a righteous man or a righteous woman reproof, they love you more because they check themselves. Let's read verse 12. For it is a shame even to speak of the things which are done of them in secret. You all damn men having sex with each other for initiation. Then you take a damn oath to swear. You riding the damn goat naked. I know what's going on in the lodges, man, because they try and get me to join it. I know what's going on in the lodge. I have friends that join these damn lodges and they try and break away from it, and they told me what was going on in there, man. And I read a lot of information on them, man. These organizations are wicked. Skull and Bones. Yeah, these people, man, they're all involved in homosexuality and so on and so forth. Lesbianism, orgies, all of that's fornication, man. Go and read the book of Leviticus, the 18th chapter. That's all fornication. And all of you that's involved in that, woe is you. Woe be unto you. Read. Let's read. Verse 13. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light. The light is the truth. When I speak the truth. The light is this Bible. It lights out your life. Hamashiach Yahushua is a true light. I'm just a man that came bear witness to the light. But Hamashiach Yahushua, that's the true light. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light. For whatsoever doeth manifest is the light. Verse 14. Wherefore he saith, awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead. Many of you, you're like the valley of dry bones. You're like Ezekiel's valley of dry bones, and you're in a dead level. And you have a need to be raised. You have a need to be raised. But when I try to raise you with right knowledge through the Spirit of the Lord, you don't want that. You want to live like you want to live. You want to do what you want to do. And so the Most High is going to send Hamashiach Yahushua, the one that you think is coming back for peace, 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 or this peace tour. He's coming back in a bloody garment with a sword in his hand, man, for war. Why do you think his garment is bloody? Because he's coming for war, for destruction, and your behind's going to be put to death. Understand that. Go and read the book of Revelation 19:11, man. So this is serious, man. So with that, I'm going to bring this to an end. Thank everyone for listening. Brother Jimmy Alicia, hopefully you got everything you needed from this video. This video will definitely get you out of your traffic citations or what have you. So once again, those of you that's actually in the Florida area, Georgia area, I'm going to be doing a seminar July the 28th, July the 29th, hopefully most high willing, in Orlando, Florida. Once I come up with the location, I'll give you the location. And it's going to be the same times, 12 noon to 6 p.m. 2 days. It's going to take 2 days, so obviously it's going to cost more than the previous seminars, but 2 days because I got so much information to put out. So I hope to see you there, most high willing. And so with that, I'm going to say Shalom, Kwam Yasha Allah, Karatazah, peace and love to everyone. Remember, everything that you do, let it be done in love. 1 Corinthians. Let it be done in love, everything that you do. With that, I'm going to say shalom, peace. 2 fingers.